Today is being observed as World Suicide Prevention Day under the theme Creating Hope Through Action. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, more than 700,000 people die due to suicide every year. For every suicide, there are many more people who attempt suicide. Let's be our brother's keeper. If you know someone who is suffering from any form of mental issue, say something. Call the Ministry of Health and Wellness's Mental Health and Suicide Prevention Helpline, 888-NEW-LIFE. That's 888-639-5433. You're inside our Sunday edition of Jamaica Magazine. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Edwin Atkinson. We have much more on the flip side of this break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
It can be challenging for some people to ask for help, even when it's just what is needed. And this is exactly why we should learn to listen, even when a person isn't talking.
Every suicide is preventable. And the only way we're going to be able to prevent these deaths by suicide if we know the warning signs and know how to respond.
If you find that someone is saying that they want to kill themselves, whether it is a joke, because some persons say, I was only joking, or whether they are serious, they need to be taken seriously. And one needs to find out what is happening with them.
Of course, someone feeling sad and even lashing out is not necessarily a sign that they will harm themselves. But if you want to take a closer look, these counselors recommend using what they call the PIN scale. Assessing someone using this method means you need to identify if there is a plan and also investigate the means of executing that plan.
The more detailed the plans that a person has to kill himself or herself, the more likely the person is. The person knows the place, knows the time, and knows the method is much more at risk than the person who just says, I feel like I want to kill myself.
Then there's the intensity.
The more drastic the method, the more likely the person will complete suicide. In Jamaica, hanging, using the gun, those are the top ways in which people kill themselves. So ask the question, have you had thoughts of hurting yourself? And if you were to do it, how would you do it? And the idea is to be able to separate the person from the means of death.
With this in mind, we are able to identify the nearness, as in how near the person is to doing the act. This is usually preceded by some signs.
I often say to people, use your eyes, use your ears, and use your nose. What are you seeing? Are you seeing deterioration in the way they carry themselves? Are we seeing deterioration in their energy level? What are we seeing? Then use your ear. What are you hearing them saying? I can't take it any longer. I am a bother. I feel like I want to kill myself. And sometimes the deterioration gets to the point where there is body odor. Use your nose. Is there something going on there where your self-care is so low?
If you find that somebody is very depressed and all of a sudden, without any kind of intervention, they're just very happy and bubbly and everything is working well, it could be, as many times it is, that they have now decided that they are going to complete suicide. So they are no longer in the valley of indecision and feeling agitated. Now they are calm because they have made up their minds to complete the act. And so that is why you see that switch. So don't be fooled by it. Talk with them.
Sometimes they are so depressed that what they need is to be stabilized by the use of medication. So get them stabilized and use talk therapy.
Some who have contemplated suicide have shared that during such a time, they often felt deserted, which brings us to the support factor.
Persons who are suicidal need a lot of support because it suggests that they are not coping with different aspects of their lives. And sometimes they believe, one, nobody cares. And that is why it is important to show them that we care by listening to them, by reaching out to them.
But also realize that many of us are limited in our own ability to be able to help people who are suicidal. So get help. In Jamaica, there is the Suicide Mental Health Helpline, 888-639-5433. Call the helpline. Get to our counseling agency, Choose Life International, our flagship with counselors across the nation willing to help, 920-7924.
Get them the help they need and show them that they are loved and that they are wanted.
When somebody has expressed doom and gloom and frustrations in life, it is not a time to condemn them, to tell them how they're worthless and they're good for nothing and they're not going to come out in anything and how they're ungrateful, but love them and care for them and be very deliberate. You don't know the story of the person that you're meeting on the street. You don't know the story of the person you meet at church or at work. You don't know what they went through last night. So be gentle with your words. Be willing to speak life over them. Be positive with them.
We're changing the mood and changing the pace as we continue to celebrate Jamaica 61 proud and strong. Yes, it's a whole year anniversary celebration, so we are once again basking in the showcase that caps off the jubilation each year, Grand Gala.
Jamaica's Independence Grand Gala marks the climax of the nation's annual celebration of both the end of slavery on August 1, 1838, Emancipation Day, and independence from British rule on August 6, 1962. The annual Grand Gala is organized by the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, JCDC, established in 1963 and known then as the Jamaica Festival Commission. In May 1980, the Commission's mandate was extended by law, which led to its current name and functions. Each year, JCDC organizes the Independence Grand Gala program, guided by a theme designed to inspire the nation to a greater future. Every year, the gala makes its home inside the National Stadium in Kingston, free of cost to the public. It's a grand presentation of the island's culture through the performing arts.
The Jamaican flag is now being hoisted.
The evening usually starts with a flag-raising ceremony,
Just as we did 61 years ago on August 6, 1962.
and a military presentation, followed by 4 hours of entertainment. Citations and awards are presented to outstanding musicians locally and in the diaspora. Several hundred dancers and performers from community cultural groups and schools are recruited to participate in the elaborate performances.
Eternal Father, bless our land. Guard us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. To our leaders, great defender, grant true wisdom from above.
Jamaica is now officially 61 years old.
For Jamaica 61, the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, under which JCDC is based, went above and beyond with a best of all-time Grand Gala affair. With a seating capacity of 35,000 against an overwhelming demand of 79,000 for access, the National Stadium was not large enough to host the myriad of celebrants wanting to enter the venue. Those who did not gain entry were housed at the Jamaica Festival Village at the National Arena, where screens were provided for viewing, and in good spirits, the celebrations went on. Other highlights of the show were stunning displays from the Jamaica Defence Force. Drawn from across the corporate plains and the different parts of St. Catherine were over 2,500 performers showcasing indomitable talents as they appeased the crowd.
Just give me the light and pass the joe. What's another buckle of more?
Jerusalem, Ikayalami,
Keeping the vibes locked inside the National Stadium, the top 3 festival song finalists graced the stage to showcase why they were the chosen few.
I've been away for a long time, far from the sunshine, far in nights, only in the summertime. I miss the beaches and the rivers and the fun. Music playing loud, the people showing love.
Oh, we're dancing same way, we'll be rocking same way. We are real till we're money done. Work so hard, now we having fun. They was skanking same way.
Well, if you never know, well now you know. Sing! The best in the world is Jamaica. We're born and grow black, green and gold. We island is a masterpiece from the Creator. Give thanks and praises, we are still alive. Though the road was rocky and the hills were steep, till we survive. We put your faith and trust in the Father. He's keeping us alive. So give thanks and praises, we are still alive.
And as was promised, plugged into this year's celebrations was a tribute to the late Harry Belafonte.
This is my island in the sun, where my people have toiled since time begun. I may sail on many a sea, her shores will always be home to me. As morning breaks, the sun on high, I lift my head below to the sky. Sunbeams down with a burning glow, mixing my sweat with the earth below.
Work all night and I drink a rum. Daylight come and we want to go home. Stop banana till the morning come. Daylight come and we want to go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and we want to go home.
And in everything, we must give praise.
I was glad when they say unto me, come let us go into the house of the Lord. Our feet shall abide in his house. Jerusalem, I'm a servant. Can you wave your gossip?
Grand Gala 2023 also presented the Jamaica Reggae Icon Awards.
On behalf of a grateful nation, we want to say thanks to Morgan Heritage for keeping the Jamaica flag high with good music, uplifting music, inspirational music, culture music, conscious music. Thank you very much, my brothers.
Hey, don't be afraid of your ever-burning fire.
Oh, no.
Trust in your fire and you'll never get burned.
Oh, yeah.
The fire that rains over heat, air, and water.
Not to tell them,
No water can put out your fire. Your fire gonna leave Rasta higher. You don't have to dread to be Rasta, yeah.
In the spirit of Caribbean unity, the keys to the city were presented to one of the region's greats for his contribution to soca music.
The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation presents the keys of the city of Kingston to the Caribbean's leading soca entertainer, Michelle Jesus Montano.
I come out to live my life, jump around and live my life, play a master, live my life, have the happiest man alive. I come out to live my life, jump around and live my life, drink a rum and live. Put your flag in the air. Somebody say whoa, jump up and say yeah. What we gonna do?
It didn't stop there. Among the night's highlights was a tribute to women.
Everyone can relate to an
And the newest addition to this year's showpiece was the floating light balls.
Jamaica, Jamaica, let there be light.
Then the showstopper for the night, the drone show.
August 6th, that are the date when me a commemorate, because it became a sovereign state. It stimulated the nation to celebrate. We are it a yard, some are it abroad.
After this first week of orientation starting tomorrow, school should be in full swing for all students all across Jamaica. That means parents and guardians will be packing lunch and snack bags. In this next feature, we teach you the relationship between good health and understanding what's in your food so you can better prepare those snack bags.
Part of maintaining good health is knowing our nutritional requirements and what is in the foods we consume. When we know, we are able to make better choices about what we eat and empowered to avoid non-communicable diseases (NCDs) such as diabetes, hypertension, cancers, and cardiovascular diseases like stroke and heart disease. In recognition of this, the government encourages consumers to look carefully on the ingredients and nutrition facts labels on foods.
NCDs is a national crisis, and what and how we eat is a contributory factor to developing or worsening. Our message, healthy eating, active living, read it before you eat it, places emphasis on educating and empowering people about the choices made for food consumption. In keeping with our vision for a healthy Jamaica, our goal is to equip Jamaicans to read food labels in order to make healthier food choices.
The fact that more than 70% of death in Jamaica are linked to NCD conditions, which are increasing, is enough reason for all of us to eat healthy foods, exercise regularly, and get adequate rest. Like sweet music to the soul, the healthy living message must resonate, and the Ministry of Health is chiming through the airwaves with its public awareness campaign.
You for zoom in on the nutrition facts. It ain't in the table on the side or the back. Vitamins, minerals, and vitamin 2, 20% and more that good for you. You for zoom in, check the nutrition facts. You for zoom in, check the nutrition facts. You for zoom in, check the nutrition facts. Less sugar, less salt intake, and less fat.
It is our collective responsibility to take stock of the health impact of excesses in sugars, salts, and fats, and take steps to reduce consumption.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness, through the Nutrition Facts Panel media campaign, is fast tracking its response to the scourge of non-communicable diseases (NCD) by getting more Jamaicans to zoom in on what's in their food. The campaign is a collaborative effort of the Ministry of Health, the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, National Health Fund, and the Jamaica Association of Professionals in Nutrition and Dietetics.
I think this is a great start, and it supports the other things that we're doing, like school nutrition policy, the physical activity program, the elimination of trans fats, and so on. We have to see it all related and linked and make the push to get it working.
Preliminary findings of a recent baseline evaluation survey for Nutrition Facts Panel Education campaign show that while 70% of Jamaicans have a general awareness of Nutrition Facts Panel and 69% express a positive attitude towards them, only 30% are able to accurately interpret and apply the information on them. Ingredients on food labels are listed from the greatest to the least amount of nutrients. Pay attention to things like fats, sodium, and sugar, of which you are to consume a percentage daily value of 5% or less. Keep these in mind as well. The general daily limit of added sugars is 6 teaspoons or 24 grams for women and children, while for men it's 9 teaspoons or 36 grams. Your fat intake should be 6 teaspoons or 30 grams, including 13 grams for saturated fat. The general daily limit for sodium is less than 1 teaspoon or 20 grams. It's also recommended that we reduce consumption of foods that have a percentage daily value greater than 20%. Choose foods that are high in dietary fiber, minerals such as iron, calcium, magnesium, and potassium, and vitamins. Go for products with percentage daily values greater than 20% for these nutrients.
It is important that Jamaicans learn to read and interpret the Nutrition Facts Panel with its information on serving sizes, calories, nutrients, and percent daily value for the individual intake. This will empower people to choose foods that allow them to maintain energy and the appropriate nutrient requirements, particularly sugars, salts, and fats.
So, next time you go shopping, remember to read it before you eat it. And don't just read it, do so and make the best nutrition choice for your good health.
As good nutrition aids in fostering our children's learning, so does the right curriculum. That's why the government of Jamaica is on a continued drive to equip the nation's students with 21st century skills.
Let's go full steam ahead!
If you have the opportunity to get a STEM education, then you should, regardless of the field or the career choice. So even if you want to be a lawyer, the skills are transferable. So you still need to be a problem solver. You still need to be able to think critically. Employers are looking for graduates with STEM skills, with these 21st century skills.
Teaching future generations to think logically, critically, and focused on problem solving, all while grasping 21st century skills, is a challenge of a lifetime.
And the right policy to be put in place is to make sure that we are building schools that are going to be empowering our young people with science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
And of course, arts.
Because we believe that that is a space that we own and we can exploit for our economic and social development.
The new STEAM Academy being built at Dumby Holden in Bernard Lodge, St. Catherine, is not where it ends. STEAM is being infused in all aspects of public education, with the method modified to suit each environment. At the Alpha Primary School, a partnership with a private institution, STEM Builders Learning Hub, is expanding the aptitude and skills of children as young as age 6.
Little Einstein's program started in 2022, and it is out of the need to actually reach the students where they are at their different levels, and also to ensure that we start early. So this program primarily is for early childhood education institutions and for primary schools. So the program actually takes place once a week or twice, depending on the need. And we actually take the students through hands-on learning by them creating different things like robots, flashlights. So they're learning the theory, but they're also creating. Hi, I'm Cavell Hilton, CEO and founder of STEM Builders Learning Hub. We connect students to quality science, technology, engineering, and mathematics tutors, as well as resources, including our STEM activity box or science kits. STEM Builders Learning Hub started because we recognize the need to provide quality resources for students.
We have done helium balloons, an explosion, a flashlight, a glow-in-the-dark slime, and now we are building an air car.
I would love to expand the program to the upper school, especially as the children are moving out into secondary education. I believe they are now at that phase where they need to make a decision about their own professional development and also as innovators to create new jobs. So I am processing, putting it into the school. We just need to consider some of the resources we would need in order to do so.
One of the major benefits of enrolling children in STEAM education is the fact that it awards them the skills associated with the 4 C's of what is needed to excel in this 21st century: critical thinking, communication, creativity, and collaboration.
STEAM education is very inclusive because it encourages students to do hands-on activities. And the kind of question that students are asked to answer, they're not given the answer, so they would need to think about it. It allows them to experiment if they are wrong. It also gives them the time to go back, think about what they did wrong, and how they are able to correct it.
All right, so interesting story. Some years ago, my son is now an adult, he shared with me that he thinks school dumbed him, in quotes. When I spoke with him, he shared that he think he could have done much better, but the limitation of school caused him to do what was required, not what he could have done based on his potential. I was a grade 6 teacher and so was enthused about higher order thinking skills, and then I realized that for STEAM, it afforded children to reason at a new level and to think outside of the box.
As it relates to artificial intelligence, AI, I'm optimistic about the future as it relates to it. And knowing everything, you have negative and positive. But I think the approach is for us not to fear the technology because it's here whether we like it or not. And so my approach is to figure out how we can use it in our classroom in a safe way, and also for us to be able to not just be consumers of this technology, but that we try to also create things that will represent our perspective and our point of view from this side of the world, from a female, from a black person, from a Caribbean person.
We give our children a chance to be their greatest self. As Jamaicans, we see children by age and we say, no, I'm too young, you can't do that. However, what do we know? See a child as an empty slate, see a child as a blank computer. You input the data and look at what the computer will do. I believe that to an extent we have limited what they can, or we determine what they can do. Let us give them a chance to excel, let's give them the opportunity and watch them blossom, as I'm sure they will.
The goal of STEAM education is to foster the true innovation that comes with combining the mind of a scientist or technologist with that of an artist or designer and letting it work together for the greater good. So, how prepared are you in getting your child ready for STEAM education? It's already here. Get with the times and help put your child on the map with the skills of tomorrow.
Even though we have this very low unemployment rate, Jamaica still has a significant number of great potential human resource outside of the labor force. Many of them are on the street corners, boring a hole in their hand middle. Some of them are drawn into crime and other deviant behavior. And some of them just choose to stay at home. We need you in the labor force, in the workforce, in order to ensure that our economy can continue to grow. In fact, this is probably the first time in maybe 4 or 5 decades that the availability of labor could be a constraint on our growth.
And just like that, we're signing out for today, but not to worry, you can rewatch this offering or other content like this by visiting our website, jrs.gov.jm. Do join us again on this same station tomorrow as we bring another informative, educational, and entertaining package of Jamaica Magazine. Until then, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.